This is the final deliverable and video summary of ED Update. This memo is to report on the conclusion of ED Update. The purpose of this project was to update existing ED order sets so that patients would benefit from being the recipients of the most up-to-date, evidence-supported care. Goals included improvement and streamlining of care delivery for patients in the ED and enhancement of emergency medicine resident education. Our first goal was achieved in that our surveys of frontline ED staff indicate that they perceive the process of using updated ED order sets to place orders to be more efficient than it was prior to ED Update. We did not perform objective assessment for the direct effect of this project on emergency medicine resident education, so this is a goal we do not feel we can consider to have achieved. Compliance with core measures has improved per quality metrics measured per the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services and the Joint Commission definitions, and avoidable readmissions have been reduced. Improvements in core measure compliance and reductions in avoidable readmissions reflect a higher quality of care provided to patients and may serve as an indirect indicator that emergency medicine residents are learning to provide better care. However, there are several other variables that may impact this outcome that cannot be easily excluded. The overall performance of the project was good. There were some schedule changes due to some new pharmacist hires that had to be trained by the project manager. This resulted in less dedicated project time than was promised by the sponsor and also created delays in the schedule totaling about 2 months. Some delays were anticipated and some feeding buffers and slack had therefore been built into the schedule. However, the time built in was not sufficient. The schedule changes did not lead to changes in goals or activities and did not greatly affect the overall project performance. Moving on to lessons learned. Although the overall project performance was considered to be good, the project manager strives for overall performance to be excellent and shares lessons learned in an effort to achieve this, and so others may achieve this in future projects in our health system. There were several other ongoing process improvements in the ED contemporaneous to ED Update that created significant additional demands on the time of the project manager, associate project manager, and most of the reviewers of the order sets. A change control process is being explored by members of leadership, the project manager, and the associate project manager to improve implementation for future projects, as these efforts will inevitably continue. The large number of process improvements requiring education, training, and retraining of frontline staff, in addition to those required to successfully implement this project, may have somewhat diluted the positive effects of this project by resulting in the attention of staff to be divided in multiple directions. Once this change control process is developed, this document will be updated so that others may reference it. The lack of objective assessment of enhancement to emergency resident education was an oversight that threatened the support for this project from physician leadership. The project manager takes ownership of this and strongly recommends that in the planning process, all goals be linked to assessment metrics, using validated assessment metrics if available to avoid this type of issue from occurring. The scheduling, although built with feed buffers and slack to factor in potential delays that were identified during planning, still did not succeed in factoring in sufficient time for the delays that occurred. The team and sponsor discussed this issue and chose not to engage in crashing as a means of addressing this, as it was not felt that deadline extension would lead to significant problems. Conversely, making cost trade-offs or significantly compressing the schedule was thought to likely result in adverse consequences to this project, most likely reduced quality of deliverables. Thank you.